Hello guys, now we are going to the second activity of the day. And the second activity of the day, as I promised you on MS Teams, will be on highlighting or emphasizing the differences and similarities in audiovisual translation and prose translation. Now, this comparison or the similarities and differences are basically taken from what you have done so far and what I have shown you earlier with the prose translation. Now let us go to the actual differences and similarities of the two types of translation and see how eventually you will try to incorporate this in your practice of translation. Okay, now let us see this. All right. Here, we will be highlighting only several things, okay? I promise you this will not be too many. First of all, when it comes to audio, when it comes to similarities, there are several things that we can bring to our discussion here. First one is the fact that both allow the liberty in the sentence structure when it comes to the delivery, okay? It means when you deliver the translation in Indonesian, in this case, you are translating from English into Indonesian, you don't have to be bound by the original uh, or the source language's structure. You can use a different structure as long as it represents the meaning of the text that you are translating. So the structure can be different. You can start your sentence with the object of the original if you need to do that. So structure in both translation can be translated liberally. And the second thing is that you still have the techniques to handle uncommon terms or words that are not found in the target language. You can use interpolation, you can use transference, which is transferring the same word from the original to the text without translating it. Or you can also use cultural equivalent. And these are all allowed in this type of translation. Both of them allow that. And the last thing is, well, not the last thing, both allow the liberty in the use of punctuation. You are allowed to use punctuation which is not the same as in the original, as long as it helps you deliver the message in a way that creates the same emotion. And finally, last one, you are encouraged to explore the connotative meaning of the text. The connotative meaning here that I can take as an example is, for example, the word salau, which means the worst form of unlucky in the original, can be translated into nahas, which might not be directly clear to the audience, but it has the connotation of negativity, negativeness, and it works to represent the term salau. Now, let us go to the differences. And here, there are only a few things here that I want to show the differences, but these differences must be strongly held. I mean, if you translate, especially audiovisual translation, you really need to hold on to these differences or restrictions, I would say. The first one is audiovisual translation relies a lot on simple word choice. I'm sorry for the text over there. Yeah, using simpler word choice is more recommended in audiovisual translation. It's related to how fast it will show up on the screen, and within that 2 or 3 or 4 seconds the text appears on the screen, the reader has to be able to understand it, okay? Unless we are talking about a documentary that explores certain things in science that not everyone can understand easily. Now, the difference is in prose translation, you may use intricate word choice, like in the case of Sapardi Djoko Damono, which I showed earlier. Instead of using bendera for flag, he uses panji, panji. Both means the same, but panji panji is, well, less frequently used, I would say. It's more intricate. Okay, it creates a certain feeling which is not the same as bendera. Now the second one is, while audiovisual translation prefers minimum details, if you have to make generalization, do make generalization. While as for prose translation, it allows preservation of details. You may preserve the details if you want it to be like that. Just as in Sapardi Djoko Damono's case, he prefers to preserve the details of, for example, flower bags, flower sack. He uses karung gandum, which is very specific, very detailed, in order to show to the audience that it's the flower here is gandum, not just ordinary flower. Or when he uses kait kecil dan kait besar for gaff and a harpoon, that is a preservation of details. Okay, and it is allowed in prose translation. And some people think that this is what you have to preserve because another work, a work from another country that is transferred into this country, into part of this literature, needs to be the same as the original, so that you can do a study on that work, can do a research or penelitian or skripsi on that translation, just as you can do it on the original work. And the last thing is that it is something that you highly need to pay attention to. Okay, I also have to do the same thing. We are restricted by our uh, physiological restrictions. We cannot see too many characters on the screen at the same time. Maximum you can see is, sometimes people say 74 or 76 or even 70 or 72. But in general, do not go over 76. If you go over 76, chances are the audience will not be able to read everything that you write over there. You need to realize that they come to see the movie not only to know the text or the dialogues, but also the scene. So give them, help these readers who do not have access to English the possibility of enjoying the scene while at the same time understanding the meaning. If they want for details, if they want to go for details, then they can go ahead and replay or check the originals. All right. However, despite the similarities and differences, both require you to be creative with words. That's the bottom line of audiovisual translation and prose translation, which, in my opinion, both can fall into literary translation. I guess that's all for now. I do hope that in the next project, oh, okay, let me, okay, I do hope that in the project, you can also apply this similarities in the principles and the differences, and eventually you can come up with a good audio visual translation for the big quiz. And what is the big quiz? It's coming up soon. All right, so thank you very much, everyone. See you soon.